I figured I'd share from my crazy life today. My neighbor, I call them the clay people because they got a clay driveway going to their land on the corner on the side of my land, like 400 something feet. Their driveway runs between me and the other person. So the only thing that I'm laughing at it. I ain't trying to get too upset about it. But what's so funny about it made me mad at first. But my daughter and them were thinking about coming over, and we want to put either them or my son on the land, depending, when we can get our finances up, on the corner, that side. Well, when they first put the clay down to pack it down because it's dirt, that's why I call them the clay people. They cut a lot of their branches and stuff and threw it on my side, so I figured I'll probably come about 30 foot off, and I'll just throw branches over there. I'll have a natural fence because they're going to throw it over there anyway. So since they've been there, they made improvements on their land, so now I got power going that way. They threw limbs over there, and there's a lot of trees I had to clear that are on the line. But when I was coming through the woods, I come back and I just stepped. I had about 30 feet to go to get around the corner, and I just stepped in the road. And the lady come around and said, "Get off my property." So I was trying to argue with her. I backed up onto the grass. I said, "Is this my property?" She said, "Yeah, your property's the grass. My property's the road." But then they put a no trespassing sign on the tree. But technically, it depends. To make this a long, drawn-out thing, I could get a survey and all that. But it ain't really, to me, I don't know if it's worth it because I don't want to be close to that land and having that issue. But they put this mailbox up here. And I did go to the postmaster and everybody trying to get them to move it because it was right in front of my land. It wasn't technically on it, but it's like a foot off of it. So I met this guy today, and the woman was real hateful, but I met the man, and I seen him. I come home, I heard a chainsaw kick up, so I went back up there, and I said, "Hey, man." He said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm cutting these stumps," because there's a bunch of stumps right there, because they used to be fully wooded before they put that light pole and everything. Well, the white pole you see, there's a little stake in the ground. That's my corner of my property. So technically it's not on my property, but all the little wood wedges he cut from the stumps, he threw them right on my property, right on the corner. I'm like, "You butthole." So, I stood there and I said, "Well, I want to put my son right here." And I pointed like right where my land was. So I guess he thought I was a butthole telling him that. And I said, "It's probably going to take 5 or 6 years." And I said, "You mind if I put my mailbox right beside this one, the one he just put up?" And he said, "Well, as long as you're about 2 foot over, I don't care." I said, "Well, okay." Because the mailbox that we have on this side, there's 3 of them there already. So she didn't want no more because it's kind of right there at her property. It's all like really weird at that little corner because it's been divided up and, but it's not really worth arguing about. So I just said, my son don't really care. So I asked him, he said, "Well, we'll just come 30 foot off and just throw the branches over there on that side, not worry about it. And we'll have a natural border, of trees and branches." And they complain about it, and then we'll have to see if they want to do a survey then. But anyway, I talked to him, and he said that he threw those wood chips, those wood chunks of wood, he threw them right there on my side. And I was like, well, he could have hauled them off. And I said, "You mind if I put my mailbox there?" He said, "I don't care if I'm still living." Dealing with crazy neighbor. I said, "All right." I said, "What's your name?" He told me his name. I told him my name, and he shook my hand, and he had gloves on. And he said, "Sorry about shaking your hand with the gloves." And I said, "It's all right. You working?" And, and I said, "I want to put him over here. It's all about money." But I think the best thing to do, if I could save up or win the lottery, or there's all kind of opportunities they got out there. I seen an opportunity and I wouldn't do it, but I thought about it. But I don't really know anybody who really smokes. But they had a thing for some kind of product that's not really legal federal at all, but it's legal in a lot of states, and they needed somebody who was an influencer, social media, but I don't do that stuff, so I had to find somebody that did it, and I can make the videos, but don't really want to push that. But anyway, they were paying them $70,000 a year, I think is what it said, to be a social media and be able to promote their brand and their product with it, and free samples and free traveling to events. $70,000 a year for smoking, but not cigarettes. So I don't want to really promote that. But anyway, just laughing at my neighbors, So as long as they don't start building a house on my land, I guess I'm okay, and I'll have a natural border, because if anybody comes on that land or their road, they're gonna say something. So I got like a neighborhood pit bull of my neighbors where they'll protect my land. So your enemy is your friend, or not really enemy, but you know what I mean. Somebody you don't get along with could be your friend. Like you could have a loud mouth at your job and they get on you and you tell them anything, they tell everybody, but they could be useful if you had some guy who was sneezing everywhere, and that guy would get on him and fuss at him. Or somebody that's doing something bad, that guy's the one that would kind of bully the one that's getting on your nerves. So, your enemy can be your friend, or an obnoxious, can sometimes get some good stuff done that benefits you too. But I just had to laugh at the situation, because I got mad about it at first, but I was like, I don't care. Just as long as they're not putting tents on the land and, over here, what do you call them, squatters or something. Because, my son's going to be over there, and they don't want to be squatting if he's running around. I'll probably get shot with BBs or something, or he might throw a log and not even see him, but hopefully they won't be there. But yeah, man, just dealing with obnoxious neighbors. You just gotta laugh. But everybody told me, a couple people told me, I'd had to get a survey, so it's probably $1,500 and all this, so probably worth it when it's kind of clear, cut and dry, within a few feet this way or that way, maybe 5-6 feet this way or that way. So it's probably not worth making a big deal about. The stake at the end of the property, it's sticking up about that much. Well, they piled a big old pile of limbs over it. So yeah, they're kind of obnoxious. I got my little 5 acres, and they got like 100-something acres with a pond, and they own a jewelry store, I think. I wasn't really paying attention. But, we'll do what we can do. Hope you have good luck dealing with your crazy neighbors. Kind of feel like Daniel Boone. I think it was Daniel Boone, or, when they were the famous explorers, when they were exploring America, or before it became America or whatever. And if he could see smoke from somebody's chimney who was too close, he would move and build them another house when he was doing the wilderness. So it ain't that bad, especially when you go to the cities and everything, go to the hospitals, and I'll make another video about that, about my experience tonight taking my wife to the hospital. So stay tuned.